Yeah, I think
Which one? Where are we going first?
So we're starting with Nova Grappler and then going down.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is Nova Grappler. Okay, yeah.
Because last time we did United Sanctuary.
Okay, can you look at this unit and say that it looks like a Nova Grappler unit? That does not look like a Nova Grappler unit. That looks more like it came from Lee Joker.
Wow!
It looks like a Ridley Scott lawsuit.
He labeled. Wow! No, just kidding.
Well, okay. To be fair, it is a space dragon.
Yeah,
True.
we don't really have. There's not really. I think
There's only.
Is this
No,
the first
no.
dragon
This is
notice?
the. So
Technically,
hold on.
no. Because
Hold on.
remember,
Hold on.
Zeroth Dragon.
Space Dragon. Hold on. Space Dragon
don't
can be
count.
found in Dimension Police and Nova Grappler clans, as well as a single card in Stargate for clans. So there is. So there's only 4 Space Dragons. There's the Stride that we're going to talk about, God Hand, the Progenitor, and the little hero Draco Kid from Dimension Police.
Wait,
Time out. God Hand
is a dragon?
God
I
Hand.
do not remember.
It's in the game.
God Hand!
I never paid attention to his name. I just know that it's God Hand.
You're like, it's a God Hand that punches you. Literally, that's it. But it's a dragon. No, it's.
But its race is Space Dragon, so just.
So they've already had Nova Grapplers have already had a space dragon already. Then.
Okay, so this is the second. So all of a sudden they're getting space dragons in. Okay, so
that's their no. Okay, so this stride would be their 4th.
If we count this,
because the first one would have been the Progenitor Dragon. Then it would have been the Dimension Police stride, then God Hand, and now this.
Yeah.
Are you recording? Because I really hope that you got all that.
I got all of that.
Oh, you recorded that! Oh!
Good. We haven't even officially started. I hope you just keep it like this because.
Hey, when it comes to the humor behind it, I'm fine with that.
Because who needs an intro? After all that. So yeah, we're talking about premium clutch and strides.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Battle tendency.
Judgment Day.
Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so last time we talked about United Sanctuary and Trident Empire strides, and all the scores were pretty average across the board, except for I don't remember who scored the lowest. I have it on my phone, which nope, not that phone. Oh, actually, I could check that phone. I just upgraded, so I have like 2 phones. The worst one, it was the Angel Feather one, yeah. So we'll go ahead and keep the same kind of idea. We'll each score it, out of 10. 0 being the absolute worst, and 10 being like, oh god, please change my pants. Good.
And then, close.
Then I guess we could just introduce ourselves as we go from there. But I mean, I'm not the host.
Oh yeah, I will be the host again. Alright, so who wants? Okay, so since we're in Stargate, I already know that.
Fine. I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer as tribute to take on this character.
Okay.
Yeah, so that everyone knows which one I want.
Yeah, we already know which one.
Mr. Dr. Professor. Okay. So the Nova Grappler stride. If you guys are following along on the wiki, we are talking about Heteromorphic Dragon King Asdabulk. A Ridley Scott lawsuit happening. Okay. Like, this card's just, it's bad. Auto on Vanguard. When it attacks, cost counterblast 1, turn a card from your G-Zone face up. And stand all of your front row rear guards. This card gains 5,000 power until the end of that battle for each unit that was stood by this effect. So basically, I mean, I guess I'll just start off. This is a really weird card because there's already things that are better than this. I think the one plus to this, maybe, is something that, you know, if you're rewriting your grade 3s and getting a bunch of Excel circles, like if you're playing Standard Plus, for instance, like any sort of Standard Plus Nova Grappler, whether it be God Hand or Risers or Beast Deities, please, Ethic Buster, please. Mr. Invincible. I love you. We need you. But when the world needed him most, he vanished.
He's not that invincible anymore.
He's pretty good in Zero,
No,
though.
Mr. Invincible is in My Hero Academia right now.
Oh, that's right. He's not able to power up, though, unfortunately. Spoiler alert. So, I mean, again, this card is pretty cool, but I mean, your front row, so let's see. Let's say you ride your grade 3, you get your Excel circle, you draw a card because you're playing Excel 2. So, you, in theory, have 7 attacks in that turn if you're not playing stand triggers. But I mean, this thing's going to restand your rested rear guards anyway. So you have 7 attacks that aren't that... Like, the Vanguard attack will be strong, of course. But the other attacks aren't really going to be that good. So I think if you're going to a Standard Plus build, and you want to get something really cheap, I think this could go well in God Hand, who is also a Space Dragon, that we just found out. That makes sense. I mean, this and God Hand is fine, but there are better choices. I like Nova Grappler. I want to build Nova Grappler. I want to build God Hand, but I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 10. Like it could fill a void. Like it's very niche, but again, there are obviously better choices.
Sure. Like the 1,000,001 victors they have. Okay, so I did talk about this unit in terms of like also the Great Nature one. I think it was my first premium video where I kind of didn't like the units that much. This one in particular because I feel like that why does the Vanguard have to get the power in a rear guard orientated, deck?
Because you're playing God Hand and it's 12 fronts or die.
I mean, but that will work, but like, this is not the premium format is not the format for fronts. Because I feel like that there's not enough like damage that you can do in order to justify it in a short amount of time, if that makes sense. It's like there's hardly any rear guards that has built-in criticals. Like, yes, you get the attacks in, and yes, the attacks will eventually work for itself, though. But you also gotta remember that they're not getting a power boost from this. So you're basically heavily depending on whatever criticals, comes to base with all this. And that's not a good thing, to be honest. See, even when I was playing like my Great Nature build, like prior to the Great Nature started coming out in this, like my build had like a few front triggers here and there, but that's because they can kind of afford it because they can generate the monster, they can generate the cards very quickly, and then you have the gorilla that can restand all of the rear guards that has 25k or higher, and you have like a lot of stuff like Barwool that can also pump them up very, very quickly and all that. They're like 20k, 30k plus units. While this one, yeah, there are some rear guards that can kind of sort of get up to like that status though, but the fact that they're not getting a power boost from this, and the Vanguard is basically what makes the card bad.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I also have to agree. I also have to agree with Ezel here. I have to do a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, I kind of, this card's a bit, it forces you to play it as standard plus, and it's in the idea that the people are playing front triggers, I guess, which is not that great in all honesty, because I mean, there's way better strides, like everyone else said. Victor, like the Victor strides, and etc. They all do way better. They do this effect and more and more. But then again, if people do come into premium with standard decks and they just want to add stuff in there, this is a decent alternative. They'll be cheap. I'll say that for sure. I would agree. It's about 3 to 4 for me out of 10 in terms of the rating for this card. So
3 out of 10.
3 to 4, somewhere between there. Maybe 3.5.
3.5.
It's a good card, but at the same time, it's like,
Generous today, aren't we?
I think, to be honest, this would be a perfect card for all like the lower tier, like Nova Grappler. Why did I say Nova Grappler? Nova Grappler decks.
Nuba Grappler, right? Nuba Grappler.
Nuba Grappler. You're a noob and you're grappling.
Bruh.
Ad libs.
Boys.
Alright, let's move on to the next.
Alright, so we have Heatwave Beast. No, I gotta say it right. Heatwave Boys. Geomaglass.
Geomaglass.
That is a weird name even for Dimension Police standards. Anyway, it has a continuous thing on the Vanguard and G-Zone. If face up, all of your grade 3s on Rearguard Circle and Guardian Circle gets plus 5k shield in power, and it has the ability to intercept. Oh boy, do we really want to go see, a lot of grade 3s have intercept. But anyway.
Nexus?
When it attacks, cause counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Look at 7 cards on the top of your deck. Call 2 cards from among them the Rearguard Circle and shuffle your deck. And this unit gets plus 1 critical until the end of that battle for each of your grade 3 units. Okay, so we already know that this is basically not Heatwave Beast Geomaglass. This is Dimensional Robo Heatwave Beast Geomaglass. Because let's be real, this is basically Die Liner Plus.
Almost, yeah.
Is Die Liner Plus. Let's be real on this. Is Die Liner if he was a stride, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it definitely does help when it comes to like most other decks outside of Dimensional Robo. But it's kind of like New Dragon. Like, you already know New Dragon is basically for it's basically for Hyuga, but it could be also used in Mandela Lord. It's kind of sort of like this too. It's like, that this could be used in any other ones like Metal Boards or Enigma or even Zeal. I need Bushiroad, give us Zeal back, please. Well, this is basically for those particular ones, but it will be best used in Dimensional Robos. And the fact that it has a continuous skill while face up in a G-Zone definitely says what you need to know. So, I like this unit, to be honest. It does kind of help Dimension Police a little bit. So I would basically give this unit maybe like a 6 out of 10.
Wow, a 6.
Nice.
All right. Well, excuse me while I apply as I apply for copyright infringement, because this card pretty much took a gold paladin mechanic.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. That's the funny thing.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. But no, like this card's really, really good, and I think this will see a hell of a lot of play. Like you said, it definitely for D-Robo for sure. Other builds, I'm pretty sure that the new Metal Bar build may make use of it too.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Especially with the new triple rare grade 3 they're getting, Blood Black.
Yeah, that.
Gonna be pretty interesting. Plus, I mean, they've been releasing a bunch of grade 3s that have guard abilities, so it's just like this is just great. This is pretty cool. I mean, at least it's intercept and not intercept from the back row.
Oh yeah, if
Could
it
you
was intercept
imagine
from the
that?
back row, that would be BS.
Definitely a reason to run more grade 3s than necessary. I really like this card. It's very unique. I like the art, and all we have to do is add a fedora onto him, because his name would just be Geo McGlass. No? Alright. Just went over everybody's head. Everyone's disappointed. Okay, go home. Just turn off the video. Just thumbs down. Just go report this channel.
Damn.
Wait, why you gotta throw me under the bus?
Damn. That was my first thought. I was like, damn.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait.
Wow.
Well, it was my bad joke, and your audience didn't get it, or they did get it, and they're pouting or sighing, and just like, did he really do that? Yeah, I did deal with it. No, okay, so this is a really good card. I'm actually going to give it, it's more than a 6 for sure. I think for what Dimension Police is doing right now in Standard, and also in combination with like just other possibilities with Bravest Victor or other premium builds with like Daikaiser, I'm going to give this an 8.
Ooh.
Weirdly enough,
Go ahead, steal my jokes.
What you got, Professor?
weirdly enough, I actually agree with the 8 out of 10, just because this card combos pretty well. Especially if if most of the D Police decks are going to be using Dizaris in the deck. That clears out open circle, or at least clears out one open circle, and lets you call out another grade 3 and everything. And yeah, like I do say, yeah, it's a copyright thingy, because Geo McGlass really copied just Glorious Reigning Dragon at this point.
So
like,
buy
oh,
out
top
the
7 call
Dizarises
too.
now. Buy out all the Dizarises now. Do it.
Get SPs. But yeah, no, in all honesty, like, this and Dizaris gives you a lot of potential, and then there's other cards that makes it really, really good. Hey, I mean, I'm all for getting an extra drive and getting more rear guards. Deck thin is deck win. That, and it gets +1 crit. So if you call for every grade 3 on your board, so you bring out 2 grade 3s, he's swinging for 3 crit. I think, if anything, this is a pretty decent first stride, or second even, if assuming D Police does the same type of play of superior stride into Die Earth, and then do all the the same play over and over and over, and then use other strides to kind of make the deck go off. But it's debatable. But it does help with the deck. It gives at least this card gives the deck the ability to survive, and that didn't really happen until well, when Deep Police happened to G era, Dynexus gave the deck a little bit more of a power boost because it was able to give grade 3 shields. At the very least, this gives them more shield now, so they can run more grade 3s, and it's actually worth it now. Overall, yeah, no, 8 out of 10, pretty good to use. I think it might be better than the old one that they had, but I forgot, to be perfectly honest.
The Die Earth?
The one from the previous premium collection that they got.
Yeah, I think it's way better than the one from the previous one.
Yeah.
It was Die Earth. It was another Die Earth, right?
Oh yeah,
or Dimax. Dimax?
Yeah, let me look that up.
No. It was.
Don't worry, I got you, fam.
Yeah, I'm just like, I know the one prior to this one, it wasn't as like popular.
Yeah, no. Strongest Commander Chief, Final Dimax XD. Or DX, excuse me.
It was that one.
XD, what is this, MySpace 2003?
Yeah.
XDR?
Yeah, so I think people weren't really like hyping DX too much. Like, it was good, but like not many people were really a big fan of it, mostly because of the fact that you're forced to shove everything into Soul, and then look at the top 7 and call up to the same number as the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone. Yes, it's deck thinning, but it's not like, doesn't give you a lot of other things. It's free, I'll say that for sure, but I mean, it wasn't something that people were looking for. Like, it had a great effect, just most times the decks had too much grade 3s and stuff, made it not matter, so yeah. So yeah, I feel like this is a pretty good addition to the deck, and it kind of helps them, if anything, so get your SPs.
Get your Dizarus now. They're only like $2 each.
Right? They're only triple rare. Yep.
They're double.
Double. Yeah, they're double. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this unit had a roof moment, because so sadly you can't really use Die Bazooka with it.
Be busted if you could, but
oh yeah, it would definitely be busted though, but like
yeah, no.
I mean, as I go to relook up Die Bazooka,
I'm sure people will try.
Yeah, you'll have people who would definitely try though, but Die Bazooka only counts as a grade 3 in the trigger zone.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the top 7,
and it's specifically for Die Kaiser, yeah.
Yeah, and it's for Die Kaiser as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not gonna, and it won't even work. Yeah.
Well,
so even if
we'll wait for the next Dimension Police wave, and then Die Kaiser will come out.
We'll get the new.
Die Kaiser
and by that time,
out this one.
It did. He's just wearing a black dress.
Bruh.
He's called Black.
It's the same artist. I mean,
now.
it's the same artist, so I mean, it could be.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess go to the next card.
On to the next.
All right. So the next card is from Link Joker. It's called Nebula Dragon, Vario End Dragon. So the main effect that it has is when placed. So once you stride and you play it, flip over a G-Zone unit. Turn a card from G-Zone face up. Remove all of the markers on your opponent's circles, all of the protects from your opponent's hand, and then this unit gets plus 10k power and plus 1 crit until end of turn for each removed marker and protect. If there is not an Excel marker, the additional rearguard circle disappears, and the units there are also retired. So if you get rid of an Excel marker, unit dies. So it's a free kill. This Vario End hard counters decks that love to spam markers. Like,
where was this last year?
Right? Right. So a long while ago, I kind of called this effect because I was reading the rulebook and I was being funny and I was like, oh, they were implying something about being able to remove markers and stuff like that in the rulebook. It wasn't like specific, but you kind of get the idea from it. And so I kept speculating. I was like, oh, Link Joker is probably going to get some, remove a marker, remove something, get some effect, blah, 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 blah. And when this came out, I was like, I was kidding, Bushiroad. I was kidding. But okay, I'll take it, you know? But again, like Ezel said, where was this last year? Because I would have loved to use this against Gold Paladins. High 6 circles, buy 6 circles. And another thing about this is that not only does he get rid of circles or extra extra Excel circles or markers in general, it also because of the recent reveals of 7 Cs, this card removes treasure markers. Because it just says remove all of the markers. It doesn't specify what type. It can just be any type of marker, and treasures are considered markers. So you can let them have 3 treasure markers, let them grab their protect marker, you stride into Vario end, you remove 4 of them. 4 things from them, and then they cry. I've actually playtested with this card. It is hilarious when you use it. That 10k 1 crit comes in handy, and I don't know, I like it. I am definitely getting 4 of it if I can get them as full arts. Definitely, my main priority. Definitely a good step in the right direction for what Link Joker can utilize. I mean, maybe not for Messiah as much, but hey, at least with deleters, they don't care what strides they go into. They can delete first, then stride to this, and just double whammy kill off markers and whatnot. All in all, wasn't really what I expected, but because I was expecting more locking of some sorts. But hey, I'll take it. My rating for it is like a 9.5 out of 10 because I wish there was more hand power, but then again, can't argue with ripping possibly.
So 9.5?
Yep, 9.5.
9.5. Okay. I just want to note real quick. Oh, damn it! Let me find the card again. Just because we need to start in here as reference. Okay, why are you not looking it up? Okay. So it's important to note that VDR Greydolls are about. Let's see. There's 5 listings as low as $55. It goes up to $65. The SBR going for as low as $40.
Wait for the SVR. Whoa.
For the SBR, $40. And the normal Vanguard Rare, the VR, is going for 20 or more. So, definitely deleters get the most benefit out of this card. So, I still have my deleter stuff, like grade 3 wise at least. I need to get more grade 2s. I need more givens because they are not given. There's your pathetic pun. But no, this. Listen here, Mr. Dr. Professor Chaos. So no, this card is really good. I think there are a lot of good strides in this set. I think this is one of my top 5. For sure. It's something that Link Joker doesn't really need, but it's something that other clans don't want them to have. And I think this is such a good counter to, like I was saying last year, as a Gold Paladin player, we're getting its spell spam, or Excel spams, no problem. And then they killed Wonder Ezel. And then making this card kind of but this card is still really good, especially against Mordred Plus. Especially when they use Chainraker. like we talked about in the last video, or if it's all combined in one video, then the last video doesn't really make sense because there wasn't a last video because it's all one video. Go to Hulu. Go watch Solar Opposites. Not sponsored. I love that show. I was watching it earlier. But this card is just so good, and like it gets the 10k in crit and it stacks too. So this with a given or anything that makes a Vanguard restand, this is deadly. Like, this is really, really good. And I think I'm gonna have to agree with the 9.5. Like there's so many potential things with this card. It doesn't delete. It doesn't lock. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
We just do it prior to it.
Yeah, exactly. You just ride all, do the skill, delete, and then hey, guess what? Here we go. I'm gonna gain crits anyway.
You know the more funny part? You wipe out at least 2 to 3 markers, and you combo this card with Given.
Exactly.
Like,
So I will get.
Oh.
I will give this card a 9.5 just because it's so impressive. It's different. It's unique. It keeps to the clan's identity of I'm denying you something, or I'm taking something away from you. Go to timeout. Think about what you did. Yeah, you. I love how meta I can be. It's so funny.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
Let it out.
Yeah, let it out.
You know what? At least it's not a standard. Honestly...
wait. Quote the timing of this video right now on when he said, at least this isn't in standard. Because when it is, we coming back to this video and you said...
For all those that don't know the exact timestamp, as of recording, it is 11:10 p.m. on May 30th, 2020.
We can come back to this and say, so you said it's not, at least it's not standard, and yet we got it in standard. When it does happen, probably. Who knows when.
It'll happen in 2022.
I didn't see. I think when I heard about when I made the hypothesis of the possible ability to remove markers, I think that was like maybe a little bit midway through Viera, like a few seconds after the came out.
Yeah, it had to have been, prior to Violet's Deleter, because, I mean, that's the set.
True.
Yeah, so whenever that came out to now, maybe a year or so, a year and a half, that's how long that it took. So I'm expecting maybe about a year for Standard to get it. So please, Bushiroad.
Year 2020, where are you at?
Please, Bushiroad, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I would rather lock come back in Standard than remove markers come in Standard.
That's actually kind of funny. People would probably go the other way around. They'd probably
that's true.
Because they're like, oh, we don't get to play with rear guards. Well, okay, we get rid of your markers then. Which one do you want? Do you want your markers more, or do you want your board more?
Amateurs. What? Amateurs. Players from 2013 on.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind Lock coming back if we have the condition of having cards to go against it.
Oh yeah, and if anything, I feel like with Lock, it's just gonna be like a lowered powered version. So like maybe a column. You're more just getting rid of one column, and that's it. They're not gonna overpower it to where it's like, oh, both your columns are dead, kind of thing. Maybe unless it's against like Excel, but even then, with Excel, you just be like, oh, rewrite Excel marker, rewrite Excel marker, rewrite Excel marker. So it's like, okay, I locked one marker, you still got 2 more.
So, Mr. Zoo Nation, what would you rate this card?
Yeah. Actually, how did you feel? How do you feel about it when you first saw it?
How does that make you feel?
You know what? I know, like, the whole remove all marker thing was cool. I feel like the overkill was getting a critical 10k and a critical for each one.
Yeah, but if it didn't give him anything, what was the worth of it? Like, oh,
You got rid of people's markers.
Yeah, but there needs to be some threat.
Well, okay, if it kept just if it just gained the power but only gained one crit, then maybe.
You know
but I think, yeah,
just like pure 2 crit, like guarantee 2 crit, at least. That's true. Like power for every marker and then just 1 crit. I don't know.
You know what? We're gonna save this conversation. We'll get to this particular one later. For now, I will for once agree and do a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh wow! Well, I think this is by far the highest rated card we've talked about so far.
Because it's like it's one of the more controversial ones out of all the cards in the set so far.
How can you say something so controversial yet so true?
That is actually right. Yeah, no, man, that is, yeah. That's actually kind of hilarious.
All right. On to the next.
All right, so now we're on to the dark.
We're in Dark Zone territory now, folks.
Oof.
So we're talking about great hero, villain Verminus. I like the irony in the name.
I know, right?
I think I was watching a video, and I think you guys should go check it out too. Coffee with Bushiroad.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like there was one with the marketing, or it was with I think it was the very first one, and they were talking about localization.
Mm-hmm.
And how there's a lot of references and jokes that go into naming something. Or how something's written. So if you don't understand the Japanese language, these jokes go over people's head and it's just kind of flavor text. I feel like this card's name might be one of it. I'm not sure. But Auto and Vanguard. Auto and Vanguard. When the attack of your rear guard on a circle with a force marker does not hit, Soul Blast 2, turn a card face up in your G zone, draw a card, and call a card from your hand through a rear guard circle. So when the card was announced, people were like, Hell Heartache, Hell Heartache, Hell Heartache, Heartache, ooh ha ha. But no, it could support Hellheart 8, but at the same time, it doesn't need to support Hellheart 8, because Hellheart 8 already has its own really good engine. So with this card being probably more the standard plus, you're going to hear that a lot. If you're drinking...
Oh god, don't...
I think you already... Drink responsibly. I think you're already 5 drinks deep.
Pretty much.
You can also drink water.
True.
Stop implying, abusive things. Drink water. Stay hydrated. But again, I think this card works really well if you have a Spike Brothers deck, whether it's standard or the updated standard. Because I have a Spike Brothers deck that only has one wave of support in it, and this card would actually really help it. But this card would go really well, especially with the moving force marker mechanic or gimmick that they have. Like, it's a niche card, and so, but it may fill a role later once more support comes out. Once we get Rising or Dudley support, this could be really good. So I'm gonna stay optimistic, but I really don't know it that well. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay. I feel like when people were saying Hellheart 8, it's more just because most of the Hellheart 8 players were just saying this is more of a pseudo Hellheart 8, just because of what it does. And they're gonna probably play cards that will move the markers no matter what. It's probably implied that that if you're running this card, you're gonna be playing the cards that move markers. So it is a really good card. It does say a lot about what it does limit the amount of things that the Brother player can do, because you can afford to not let it hit, but just make sure that their soul loss, the amount of soul they have is limited. So I mean, it's very, very strong. At least with First Stride, it's better than Dirty Picaro. Because, I mean, most of the time I see Spike players go is, oh, I'm at GB4, I need to get to GB8, so they go to Dirty Picaro to try to, get to it as soon as possible. But, with this one, hey, at least they get one draw off of it and play a card. And it's pretty good. I feel like if you're not playing, like, a locking / retiring or binding or anything like that to hard counter this deck, you just have to play very, very smart in terms of what to guard and what not to guard, and the amount of times your opponent can just multi-swing at you. And the thing is, like, Hellheart 8 isn't that bad. It's not such a blowout card. You can actually, if you time everything correctly and maintain a good stable condition, maintain a good situation for yourself, you can survive Hellheart 8. I almost did it. I literally got to the point where I was one attack away from winning the game, because my opponent was had one more attack, and if I could have stopped that one attack, I would have won against Hellheart 8. And this was me using D-Power, what was it? TD support BT with Ange Toi at the time. So 5k triggers, really fun.
Is this before the restriction or after?
This was before the restriction. And the thing is, Ange Toi with 5k triggers against full power 10k triggers in support of Spike Brothers, I was playing an uphill battle even with the superior rides. It's still a hard battle, because 5k triggers versus 10k triggers, that's a big steep in number even then. So you still have to play pretty smart. And I mean, overall, I do kind of, I think he's more like a 7.5 for me. He's really, really average, and he provides a good amount of support for the deck, in my opinion. So.
Alright, so, I wonder how possible it would be to do this card and then go into Hellheart on your next turn, because, like, let's be real, like, by the time you're done with this card, you pretty much have little to no soul left. And
You're playing Spikes. When have you ever had a soul?
well, no, I have one of my friends, he main Spikes, like...
Go check out Living Proof's videos about the card.
Not that kind of meaning of when did you have... No.
Oh.
No.
Damn. That's being a hater right there. I'm not a Spike main, but I am like a huge football fan, so that's kind of weird to be honest. But anyway, I do like this card. It's basically Hellheart 8 light. When you really think about it, I do like that it does continue the whole force marker thing. The problem, which might be restored once Spikes get support again, but the problem I feel like that there isn't that many cards that can move the force markers like once you stride. Like rear guard cards that can, move like force markers. So I guess that is pretty good on the long run, that it just says any force marker. So you don't have to worry about that much. But I do believe that there probably might be more rear guard based units that can, move the force markers. So this will be like probably a little bit more effective than it is already. I kind of feel like this is decent, despite being something that we've normally seen 101 million times with Spike Brothers. I'm not saying that they should really change like something in their playstyle, but it kind of seems like the typical Spike Brother like agenda when you really think about it. It is a good card. Don't get me wrong. I kind of feel like the one from Premium Collect 2019 was a little bit more dangerous though.
Oh, right. Violence Ace.
Yeah, Violent Ace. I kind of feel like Violent Ace is like slightly more like dangerous in this. But then again, like this card isn't bad regardless, so I guess I can kind of sort of give it like a full 7. I'll give it a full 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I'm actually now kind of tempted to make a video where I look at all the Spike Brother grade 3s and strides and then try to compare it to actual football players, but I'll do that in another time.
Look forward to that. Make sure you check out his Patreon for early access.
I can't afford that shit. Anyway, next one.
No, for you.
Oh, yeah. I still can't afford that shit. Let's go. Alright, next card.
Yeah, you're up next.
I'm up next. Oh, I kind of wanted to do, well, actually, there is like 4, so I guess I could do back-to-back. I'll do back-to-back. Alright, so, this is Uphill Chief Galvanth?
Galvanth.
Okay, yeah. Galvanth. It sounds very vampire-ish. Well, auto Vanguard Circle, when it attacks, cost Counterblast 1 and turn a card from your G-Zone face up. Soul Charge 5. Draw the same number of cards as trigger units that were soul charged by this effect into the end of that battle when your opponent will call cards with his hand or Guardian to Guardian Circle. He or she must call the same number of cards as normal units that were soul charged by this effect or more at the same time. Okay, so where do I even begin? Oh yeah!
From the beginning.
So yeah. Where do I begin? Oh yeah! You still should have got banned. Cause this is good. This is way good enough, and Darky Regulars already has more than good enough stuff for like their whole G-Zone in general. But like, damn, that stupid garbage. You know what? I think Darky Regular should just change their name to Guard Restrict, because that is legitimately what the clan does. Which makes no particular sense whatsoever. Also hit hard leg, that's the size of point.
Well, remember, this is premium we're talking about. Hard leg's still at 4.
Yeah, it's still at 4 in premium, which I kind of feel like is a little bit worse than standard, but we'll see when they come out with the Darky Regular stuff and you know, when they come out with the hair rod and all that though. But honestly, like, damn, so if all 5 are trigger units, that means
You draw
when
5.
that unit attacks, then not only they get the draw. Wait,
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. So, but at the same time, if all 5 of the things were normal units, which, let's be real, that's more likely than to happen, then you have to guard a minimum of 5.
Unless you just G-guard and say haha.
Which is true. You basically either have to G-guard or guard a minimum of 5, but let's be real, how many clans... There's just certain clans that don't have good enough G-guards. Which is kind of why I wish this set would have also gave us G-guards, but can't have everything, I guess.
No.
Not yet.
As much as I don't want to give it this high-ass rating, I have to give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay. I like this card personally. Again, like you mentioned, it's a double-edged sword. So with the Soul Charging 5, you know, so you're either losing your triggers and drawing, or you get the main deck units in the soul, and you have the multiple number guard restrict. So a lot of people actually don't like this just because of the fact that you have to get triggers into Soul. But because like a lot of people are like, well, this doesn't help Dasteel. No, it doesn't. Dasteel, Dasteel Demonis has specific soul charges. Like, hey, here's Emblem Master. We're soul charging 3 of this thing. Or we're soul charging specific cards. We don't soul charge from the top of the deck anymore. Who do you think you are? And that also works with the artwork too. So, boom. There you go. I personally like this card just because Bledermouse exists.
True.
Because I can see this in Bledermouse actually becoming really good. No matter whatever situation is, you soul charge 4 triggers. Hey, I draw 4 cards. Next turn, I can go Bledermouse, restand, and put those triggers back. Or hey, I soul charge 1 trigger. Hey, I get a draw, but I also you have to draw with 4 cards from hand. So, I think because people don't like it because it's random. It's a random top 5. But honestly, I like it. It's good. It's not Dasteel good, but I think it's good in its own right. And any budget Dark Regular player would be very happy to have this in their build. I will give this. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Oh wow! So I've asked around about this card, and a lot of the consensus is kind of the fact that they'd rather still use Daimonis over this card, or they'd rather use Balam over this card and stuff like that. Golarius, and like they all think that this card's okay, but it's not something they needed. But if you're coming in as a new player, a new premium player, it's better than nothing, because most strides now are pretty hard to find. So this is a good alternative. It's okay. The idea of you soul charge 5, draw that many for each trigger unit, and then the normal units count as guard restrict. It's an idea, but then you soul charge triggers, so you're losing triggers, and then if you draw into more triggers, you lost even more triggers after that. So it's a hit and miss. It's a pretty decent card, but I guess in the consensus of things, it's just an alternative budget one, because there are way better ones. I think I went against the DI deck, and they actually went Balam first instead of Daimonis, mostly because I was under Freeze Ray against them, and and I was trying to bait them out to bring out that enigmatic assassin. I was like, come on, bring it out so I can just lock it. Hey, it's a hard counter to it. That's why they went Balam first and tried to bait me into taking damage so that they can do the combo. But more or less, I baited them instead. It's a good card, but I feel like it's right in the middle. So I'm gonna pretty much say it's a 5 out of 10. It's not good, but yeah, it's not bad at the same time. And it can go either way. Whether depends on the deck you play. So yeah.
Just imagine all 5 of it being normal units, and then you can't guard it.
Well, if they're all 5 normal units, you just be like, oh, G-Guard, double G-Guard? Okay.
You're not always going to have that heal trigger. So.
No. But, BT has 8 heal triggers.
Alright, on to the next.
Okay, so...
I haven't done one. I don't think I did. No, I haven't. I'll do this one, if anything. Yeah. Alright. So the next one is Mitter Megatrick Yvette. And Licker might kill me for this, but depending on how I say this correctly, I hope I do say this correctly. So, with in terms of my commenting on it. So her effect is a Magia effect, which is really, really good. When it attacks on Auto Vanguard, when it attacks, put a card from your hand into your soul. Flip over a G unit, or flip over a card in the G zone. Automatically get an imaginary gift Excel, and then call a card from your soul to an additional rear circle, usually the one you just, the circle you just made, and then the called unit gets 15k power until the end of the turn, and then at the end of the turn, it just gets put back into the soul because of the Magia effect. Do you know with the warning, or the ruling for this is when you attack, you actually have to have that card in your hand to put into soul first, and then you flip over, then you get the Excel marker. And if you choose Excel 2, you draw one first because the gift prioritizes first before you do everything else. So you go gift, draw one, then you call a card from your soul to rear. So there's no way to cheese this or anything about, I get the Excel circle first, then I put... No, you can't do that. You have to have that one card in your hand to even trigger the effect off first. This card actually works really well in tandem with the 2019 one. I think it was Darkside...
Dark Lord
Princess. Dark Lord Princess. Yeah, Dark Lord Princess. Because
You're
Dark
welcome.
Lord... Yeah, thank you. Dark
Not
Lord
you.
Princess... Oh. So with Dark Lord Princess, it allows you to do the first swing, bring out a rear... go into... And then for her effect, you can choose a Magia unit and then stride it by turning it up. So you can either go into Yvette, or you can go to the Harry stride, the promo one. Now, I've done this before against Pale Moon. I damage deny them hecka hard, so it makes Harry pretty much useless, which is a problem. Now they have Yvette, so that changes it to where now they don't care about the damage deny, and they can just go into this and do more stuff. And they get an Excel marker. So like if your deck doesn't even play Excel, it doesn't have Excel markers or anything like that, you can throw this in and you get an Excel marker yourself without having to ride a grade 3. So, that's the plus off of that. After playing against it, it is pretty good. I have to say, it's not game breaking or anything, which is good. And I mean, heck, you get one call out of it, so I have no complaints about that. So in terms of I feel like in terms of my rating for it, I would say maybe about a 7.5 to 8. It's hard to choose because I like it. It's a very good effect. It's a good addition to Pale Moon. So I would say 8, actually. Going by that, an 8 out of 10.
Okay. 8 it is. Yeah, I think you pretty much said what needs to be said. The compatibility with this and Dark Lord Princess is just, it's really good. I think the fact it gives an Excel gift gives, like, this is a staple now in any sort of Pale Moon deck, in my opinion. Probably just about any Pale Moon deck can use this card. I don't know Pale Moon as well as I'd like to say, but anything that gives an extra rearguard circle within an Excel line is really good. I can only imagine what Silver Thorns will do with this. I can only imagine what Magia is going to be like with it. Whew, like, just the fact that this and Dark Lord Princess exists is good. Again, there isn't really a lot to say because you kind of already said it. The possibilities are real. They're endless. But I'm going to turn that Infinity upright, give it an A.
Oh, dang it. I was going to say, you're going to turn that Infinity and then go beyond?
Listen, we could go O's if we want, but that's a loser rating.
No!
Because that's 3 O's. Because that's 3 zeros. No, this card's worth more than 3 zeros.
No, Buzz Lightyear! Go to Infinity and beyond.
It's Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. Zoonation knew it was Buzz Lightyear.
Well, you said beyond infinity, so you can't blame me for thinking O's.
I said to infinity, then beyond.
Well. So do you think of this card? Please
This-
brace us about how this works with Nightmare Doll.
Oh man, I can't wait to use it in my dolls. But outside of that, this is a pretty good Nubatama unit.
What? Oh, that's what you meant. Right.
So now
We here on this channel name here don't condone violence of any kind unless it's well deserved.
So now, Nubatama and Bermuda Triangle is the only two clans in the game that can use all three markers. Because MLB gives us the ability to use force markers.
You have to literally go against MLB to get the.
I know.
You have to
but
literally.
still.
You have to Goku.
It
Kill
can.
move to get
Does
these
it work? Does it work? Not necessarily. What can it work? You're damn right it can.
Everyone is like nodding their head, and it's like, would you really do it? You underestimate my cheesiness. I will do it just to do it. It's like, And this is why we have Vario End for this crap.
Oh my god.
But back to this.
But outside of being used for Nubatama, giving us a XL marker, I am going to say that I'm going to like and I'm like 50-50 with this when it comes to Nightmare Dolls, because I do like the fact that I don't have to waste a counterblast, which the deck is very counterblast heavy, sadly. So that can definitely help it and whatnot, though. But at the same time, it can only call one card.
But it's supposed to be like first strike. You're not supposed to be able to.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn.
It's definitely good first strike, because I'm tired of using Harry as a first strike. But
I mean, I think that's like you and everyone else, or at least people who use Dark Lord Princess. But I mean, I feel like a lot of people would say the same thing. Yeah.
oh yeah, I believe that. And then yeah, this is also a counterplay to like Link Joker as well in a little bit.
This is a counterplay?
It's not too much of a counterplay, but it's like, yo, you locked up my whole field, but I do have a possibility of having a rear guard now.
It's a way to rebuild after he gets very ended.
Basically.
Nah, fam. No. You know what I do? I bait you to get 2 XL markers, and then I Vario End you.
Wow, someone's really playing heavy with the unlimited bait
That's
works.
if you can survive it.
Oh, you underestimate my locking. I have ways to lock. I have ways. Although at that point, like, I feel like if I do play Lynx against this deck, they might just, instead of going Yvette, they might just go to the Harry Strike, because it's the safer play. You know, you get rid of locks, and you know that's just how it works. The only time I feel like this is a good alternative is like no counterblast whatsoever, and then you need something to attack with, and that's where this card comes in. So,
True.
Yeah. Although at that point I might have world-ended you the next turn after that, so... Yes, I am talking about that.
So, overall, I will also give this like a 7.5.
Yeah.
I
do believe it definitely deserves it.
Oh yeah, no, it is definitely something they needed.
Alright. It's a good card. You know what else is a good card?
What?
Interdimensional Dragon, Godrock Dragon. This thing. Here we go. Floor game. Alright, so auto, Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle of attack, cost counterboss 1 and bind 4 rear guards. Put this card in your G zone face up. search your deck for up to one grade 3 or greater card, write it as stand, and it gets -1 drive until the end of the turn. Shuffle your deck. So thank you, Vanguard Insider, for revealing this card. Oh my god, it was so fun watching him just reveal the card and just be like, it was a wholesome experience. You know, there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now. We're all pieces of poo, but go watch that video. Maybe it'll end up in the recommended. Maybe, I don't know, but just having him review this card as soon as it got announced was just wholesome. This card goes well, I think, in just about any sort of I almost said Go Paladin. Gear Chronicle deck. Maybe not ZTB necessarily, but maybe if you're playing Demiurge, maybe I don't know. But aside from ZTB, this is really a pretty good card. It sets up for your binding. So hey, here's Lost Legend Turbo, Mystery Player Turbo. Here's OG Chronofang. Next stage, like this is a generic net stage for all those clans, or all the subtypes. The fact you can search out a grade 3 or greater is even cooler. So you can search out for your next stage in your main deck. The normal one, you attack with it. Yeah, you get the 1 drive, but you go back to Chrono Jet and you get to attack, and you have twin drive, I believe. So this thing is really cool. I think if it's going to be a pure Chrono Jet build, it's going to be very Vanguard centric. But I mean, you can see it in other ways. Like if you're playing the original Chrono Fang and you're binding stuff, like you can bind your Sand Triggers, your Urwaters, just get those out of the way, go back to the deck, just draw a bunch of cards, filter, then going with this, and then it's like, oh hey, here's some more rear guards. This card is just so cool, and like there's so many possible deck combinations to go with it. Like I'm gonna give it a 9. It is just that damn good.
Yeah. There's some cheesiness to kind of go with this. From what I heard, Grogrok could, I think, besides doing the 3 attacks, or 3 Vanguard attacks, there's just other stuff you can do with it, which is pretty ridiculous. Most of the time, what people are going to use this for is the Chrono Jet build, where they're just going to go Grogrok into next stage, and then Jet. That seems to be the most common play ever in this kind of thing. But there's always other stuff. Grogrok, though, when you combo with Urwatar, is ridiculous, because you have 4 Urwatars on board, and you just go Grogrok. Oh, 4 bound. And then you just draw 4 or top 2 4 times, and just get free hand after that. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you don't have rear guards to kind of work with, but yeah, whoop-de-doo at that point, right? Overall,
somehow they're all Valkyrions. I don't know how, but somehow they're all Valkyrions.
It's doable. So I mean, it's a good card overall. I feel like depends on the situation. People will just automatically go into this card because they're playing the next stage build. But the one thing is, players have to be very careful, because Grogrok does require the 4 rear guards to bind. So if you have any less than 4, you're in big trouble. So just saying. Other than that, I say the Stride overall, because of the requirement, it's about a 7. I want to say it's like a 7 out of 10, because it does have that hard restriction, and the thing is, it's needed. It is definitely a needed restriction. But at the same time, people are going to complain, and so, yeah. So, for me, 7 out of 10.
I'm waiting for that one person to try to ride Valkyrie and say you can do it.
No, you cannot.
Exactly. Somebody's gonna try it, and I know it.
That's why, like, when he said, "Oh, that could work," I was like, "No, it can't. It can't."
It says you can't ride it.
Exactly.
Well, you can't call it to rear guard like normal because it retires itself.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you can't do it without carrying on because it just blows himself up.
Yeah, boy, you can use it as for fodder for Lost Age.
It is a grade 5, so.
So, one of the things that I do like about this card, I can't believe I'm actually saying this with your Chronicles in it, but one of the things that I like about this card is that this is kind of sort of a prime example of what I feel like Premium Collection 2020 has been trying to be doing this whole time. Trying to, make all the standard support valuable and premium, and this kind of does it pretty perfectly. So, that's pretty much the best quality that I do like about this card. It's pretty powerful, but it's not like overpowered, which is also another thing that I kind of like about it. I feel like the worst thing about it though is like outside of Chrono Jet and Chrono Fame, you're not really gonna see much play from other grade 3s like that, or you probably will, but they won't be like as strong. And then as far as like grade 4s, yeah, of course you have like Lost Age and whatnot though, but still, I don't think you'll find something like as powerful as you want it to be. So that's kind of sort of one of like the major complaints I have about it. But outside of that, it's a pretty decent stride in general. So I'll definitely give this like, I'll be in the middle. I'll do like 8 out of 10. I know
It's not quite middle, but that works.
Yeah, I know like Ezra did 9 and Professor Chaos did like 8. I mean 7. So
Yeah.
I'll do 8.
7, yeah.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of it.
All right, now we're moving into everyone's salty favorite nation.
Megalonica?
Megacolony.
Megalonica.
For a minute, it took me a little bit. I was like, "Are you referring because it's the salty sea, or?"
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, the pun.
That was
Yes.
your inputting. Okay. So who wants the ditch ship?
I'll do Dire Dogs here. Called like the pirate stage from Super Mario 64.
Oh.
That's what we're talking about. Okay, that flew over my head.
Okay, so you read this one, Professor, Mr. Dr. Professor. It's the one after, and I'll do the other. Okay.
All right, so Right Legion selling ship Bad Bounty.
Brad Brody. You gotta do your best Large Bulls impression.
I don't think I can really do it that correctly.
Is the
Brad Blue just got the greatest stride ever. Oh, this got so much setup.
Alright, let's see.
Love and respect. Check out Solid Vanguard and Zero Damage Gaming. Use your promo code SOSenpai to get 10% off any play mode.
hey, if it's any better, I'll do this. Make sure you tune in to Vanguards of the Roundtable for a up and coming different uploads of content, because we're in quarantine, so there's not much we can really do. So look up for something interesting coming up. Ha!
Well, don't you mean that, since we're in quarantine, there isn't much else that we shouldn't do?
My name is Travis. I got a basketball game tomorrow. That's funny.
Nah, I'm opening some stuff in this week. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I have a video already.
But you realize
finished,
it's gonna take them time to edit this. So
Alright,
I mean,
alright,
That's
so right Legion ship that bounty. At the end of the battle that it attacked, cause Counterblast 1, discard 3 cards in your hand, put this unit into your G zone face up, and write up the 1 grade 3 card from your drop zone as stand. Okay. So, this card's good, this card's amazing. I'm not gonna do all that. But, I like this card a lot.
First thing was, I thought you were Piccolo.
Special
No joke.
beam cannon. But
No. You remember the team 4-star one? It was like, I feel great.
Oh yeah, I feel great. I feel stronger. We can't do this. But what I like about this, and I know like a lot of people were like getting the idea of the whole, oh yeah, let's bring back Limit Break, and do like the Limit Break ability, which is funny because now that same Limit Break unit is actually going to have a marker now. So yeah.
Have fun trying to Limit Break with that one.
Exactly. I mean, some people could do like 2 and 2 and kind of get away with it, or they can do like 3 and 1 because like technically all you need to do is just write into 1, but still.
Yeah. I mean, Green Shade is a thing, so.
Yeah, Green Shade is a thing too. But I mean, like, outside of that, now that they're getting this whole treasure mechanic thing, which nobody knows what it does yet, but I'm kind of guessing that it's going to be like some on-ride type thing.
No, we don't. We already know what it does. So,
wait, what does it do? I thought there was no information. I was like looking this up prior to this. I'm like, there's no information on this.
So think of a treasure. Think of treasure as a quote unquote token card. It's placed.
Counter.
It's like a counter. It plays as a marker. It plays it as itself as a marker on the rearguard circle. You can only play the treasures on circles that do not have markers. That do not have other treasure markers. Like if say like you put a treasure marker on a Vanguard circle, you cannot put another one on the Vanguard circle. You have to place it on other ones that do not have it. So that's why. And the thing is, it's just a condition. The markers are just condition. The treasure markers are conditions. It sets up for Night Mist to trigger off his effects based on the amount of treasure markers you have. The thing with the treasure markers is that they don't do anything. They're just there. But you do get them anytime anytime a 7C's like that specific. If that 7C specifically says if this card hits, you get a treasure. So a lot of the 7Cs that got released says, oh, if this hits, get a treasure marker. If this hits, get a treasure marker. And it's both on Vanguard or Rearguard. So it makes your opponent think, oh, should I let this hit? And the thing is, like, there's not much hand power in the deck, so you kind of have to play pretty smart with it. But it is something to be wary about, because with just one treasure marker, I think it's one. I don't remember the whole effect of Night Mist, but he can restand everything. Or no. He can't restand everything. Or is it restand everything? Was it restand everything, or everything can attack? I forgot it was. It was one or the other. It wasn't the busted one, but yeah. So that's just what it is. It's just a marker given to you for the field. Okay. And on the line is oh, you have treasure. I have a jar of dirt. If you get that joke.
No, I'm willing to bet people get the joke.
Yeah, if you get the joke, comment on the section below.
Or in post edit, just put the meme on screen. Here it is. Okay, now get rid of it.
All right, so Okay, I'm gonna just say prior to this now, I didn't see the live stream where they like introduced the Seven Seas thing, but I was trying to look up what the treasure thing did, and like I saw no information of it. So I was
It's
thinking,
it's just a card. It's just a marker card. Think of it like think of
Stealth
it like
camera.
a marker. Think of like an imaginary GIF without the actual.
Oh, okay,
stat
it's
marker.
like an equip gauge, but useless.
oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Yeah, it's just a set condition. That's all.
okay, that explains everything. All right, so yeah, after making myself look like a complete dumbass, I could honestly say that this definitely has to do something with whatever stuff that Grand Blue is getting in this this upcoming set. There might be like a few grade 3s that hasn't been released yet, or night rolls in general that might have to do something with the reason why they make this card like this. And I think another thing is kind of sort of wholesome that we did. This is the one that Solomon Vanguard did, right?
Yes,
He was-
that's why I
He
did my
made the
4.
large balls, yeah.
The large ball reference was because he got to reveal this card like that, and yes, that. Thank you for making me explain the joke.
But yeah. So, yeah, that was actually that was kind of just as wholesome as like Insiders, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually pretty good to see. But overall,
3 out of 4 wholesome.
my section is done long enough, so I want to say that I will give this like maybe. I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Hmm.
7.5. Okay.
Pretty good. So I personally like it. It's a pretty good combo. Like, how everyone was talking about, combo the Break Ride Nightstorm with either Cocytus or something, or Skull Dragon. Up to you how you want to play it. I just noticed with this card, we've had cards that are able to G flip something. Bat Bounty doesn't flip anything. He just counterblast 1 and discards 3. Just noticed that. So.
War game?
Huh?
Nothing. The audience will get it.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, it's tricky. It's a good stride. It definitely is a good stride. Just we don't know whether if it's worth it compared to say the what is it, the Night Roast stride, the promo one, because most people tend to just go into that promo anyways. So overall, I mean, I would probably rate it like a 7 out of 10, just because the cheesiness of the deck being able to getting a pseudo next stage is hilarious.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and it is funny you bring up that it doesn't flip anything in the G zone, which is pretty interesting. So I enjoy this card not because I mean Solemn revealing it has a good part of it. Just that video by itself is just hilarious. Again, go watch it; it's hilarious. Like the first maybe minute, 2 minutes are just pure comedy gold with him. It's just it's so funny. But he mentioned in the video that Grand Blue, this fills a void. It fills a purpose. Because one of their weaknesses is not having access to their rear guards, or having things to set up, or having things that just you haven't done your setup yet, and you need to stride. This card sets up pretty darn well, or it's another alternative for stride to go into. I mean, it depends on the situation, but I mean, hey, you have a restander, or technically a restander with another grade 3, on your, that turn, so you're already generating another, like, the only thing you lose is the 1 counterblast. You make back the 3 cards you discard. That in combination with quick shields, you plus. Like, you just lose a counterblast, but you plus if you discard your quick shield, or even your PG, or even your not PG, your protect 1 marker.
True.
So that's still really good. I'm gonna give it an 8 just because there's so many versatile things you can do with this. You can rewrite any grade 3 from your drop zone. So if you've already set your drop zone up well enough, or you did early PG and got rid of your Baskerk or your Cocytus or your Skull Dragon or your new Night Rose, that's probably gonna get confirmed here soon, hopefully. Like then this card does fill that niche. It fills that void, and like Grand Blue is one of those lands that can contend with the meta. It just depends on the pilot. It just depends on who's using it, what are they, how, just everything. It just depends on how effectively they master this technique. Grand Blue can go far. So again, that's why I'm giving it an 8, because it can go far.
Actually, to be honest, I kind of find Grand Blue in the same position as Kagero. They have enough toolbox to display Temple with every single deck in the format.
But like, this is something that they don't have. They don't have access to something like this.
True. That's true.
It's another arsenal in the toolbox, but this is a really good first stride, or this is a really good stride to get out of certain situations, or even to just push. I mean, you could play the 11 crit Cocytus build, and with the 1 extra whatever trigger you want, or go 12 crits, whatever. Do what you want. You don't judge. Kinda. And just go Cocytus or Skull Dragon. So again, just 8 out of 10. Let's move on.
Okay. So the next card is Valuable Verve Federica. So this was one of the last cards to get revealed, and I was a little surprised by what it did. I did see a gameplay of it go off in one of the YouTube videos that I watched. It was actually pretty cool to see it go off. So her effect is, when placed, reveal 10 cards from the top of your deck, and if all of them have different card names, and highlight the fact that it's all of them, call up to 5 face-down mermaid cards with power and different card names from your G-Zone to rearguard circles. And then until the end of the turn, they do get plus 15k power and can also attack from the back. I kind of equated this to somewhat like Megiddo when I saw it, and it was kind of pretty dumb, being able to pull it off. The only thing about it is that this is more towards Highlander, and this does give a reason. This gives Premium Highlander a reason to play, because this stride literally just says, "Hey, I'm Highlander. I'm gonna be GB6 on first stride." When after first stride, you'll be at GB6. So at that point, it makes going to GB8 or like even setting up Megiddo, it's very fast. I think the one main problem with this is that you can't use this in any other deck, which kind of sucks, because it's the fact that you have to reveal 10 cards and they all have to be different. And the thing about it is that because every card has to be different, you're playing a mixture of in trigger lineup wise, you're playing a ton of mixtures of different triggers. So like all your heal triggers are gonna be are gonna be just different overall. You're gonna run that 10k, or I mean the 10k powered heal trigger. You're gonna be playing the counter charge heal trigger. You're gonna probably be playing some other heal triggers, from back in the day. And then in terms of like the crits and draws and stuff like that, it's all gonna be. You're gonna probably be playing like one of each crit from the new series, which there's really not that many. There's like maybe 4, and then you got to run all the other ones from the old days.
Yeah, there's 3 individual crits in standard.
Oh yeah, and then 2 from premium collection. Yeah, so 5. So 5 total of 10k triggers, and then the rest has to be 5k triggers. So that's kind of like the downside to it. I did see someone play a Highlander premium. It was pretty good. Whether it comes down to the player at this point, having to pull off the plays, 100%, and getting pretty decently lucky on it. I overall think, like, personally, because of the usability, it's like the card itself is like about an 8 out of 10 for me. I would put it lower, but it's the fact that you can just you can hit 6 GB6 within first stride. But yeah, anything besides that, I kind of wish, this requirement would have been for something different, like maybe 20 cards, and if you reel 10 different cards in amongst the 20, even with doubles, that would have been a little bit better. So then every deck can use it, probably. But then again, Bermuda is very powerful, so that's probably why they kind of limited it, or maybe, they could have done something where all the decks can use it. So, kind of sad, but hey, what can you do?
I think this was a very interesting choice to make, to be a Highlander support card. Because, I mean, what else could you theoretically support as a standard plus? Drink water. Not salt water. Put that away. Gamer water? No, bath water? No, put that away. Put that away.
God, I remember the gamer water thing. The gamer water.
Drink normal water.
Did not, like, that flew over my head first, and then I was like, oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah, this is so it makes sense they had to make it a Highlander card. Because, I mean, when you think about it, what other, again, that particular thing, you already have Riviera that already has established strides. You already have Pacifica that has established strides. You have Coral that has established strides. You have Shandy, which you could use for Harmony.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's actually versatile. She's actually pretty versatile, because you play a card behind her and you just call 2 cards.
Yeah, but still, it's like, what else, in theory, could you do without going into, oh, here's another Turua, here's another Loris? So I think going Highlander route was a good idea. Because that is a deck in Standard that does exist. It's not super popular, but it exists, and it's really good. When it's a high-risk, high-reward kind of deck, and this card really reflects that high-risk, high-reward.
Hey, they could have given us a Melody Stride.
No.
Another grade 4, I can't think of what her name is.
Aneska?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aneska. Yeah, she's like the boss of the
grade 4
Highlander.
Yeah.
Although Eve is starting to pop up, be really good.
Oh, Eve is. You can do some fun plays with Eve.
So I mean, it depends on how you do your Highlander build. There are interesting things you can do with it, so more power to you. I think I will give this card, let's see, I'm going to give it a 7. Like, it's a good card, but it's very, again, it's high risk, high reward. I think that's something that Bermuda does need. Or, doesn't necessarily need it, but it's something like, hey, if you build your deck like this, or if you're just playing for memes and you pull this off, good job. Like, you should just get the win at that point. Because, I mean, you're just one G card away from dropping GB8.
Yep.
And then it's just game over, fam. Game over. I'm gonna give it a start at 7. It's decent. It could have been something different, but it was a smart choice. A little disappointing, but it was smart.
All right.
True. Okay. I know there was a lot of Bermuda Triangle players. kind of complain about this card, which I can understand, and I know that everybody doesn't really play Highlander, aka EDH, Bermudas.
Commander.
Yeah, Commander Bermudas. Because that's basically what it is.
Right.
But at the same time, let's be real, like, Bermudas have some of the best rides in the game. So, them having, like, one particular bad stride that's only bad in other clans, in other versions of the clan that's not Highlander, isn't really too much of a bad trade-off. And besides, you still have Riviere, which the errata part of her only exists in standard format. It doesn't exist in premium. So you have.
It's both. The
it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a widespread.
That's a widespread
errata.
But the thing is, no one really uses it in premium. Because what happens is everyone goes for the superior stride for the card rather than the superior ride.
Which
so
is true.
Yeah, because they'll just go, oh, ride to grade 3, pay the 1 counter blast for 12, superior ride Riviere from deck, play this legendary idol Riviere. That's usually the play for
it's like Wonder Ezel 2.0.
Yeah, except they only get 2 markers versus 6.
And no draw.
So you guys still have plays regardless, so like having a bad stride isn't really that bad. Just know that like if you don't play Highlander, you don't have to spend money on it, so yeah, there you go.
I mean, you spend money on the other stride. Haha.
Oh my god.
Have fun dropping money for your Taruas.
Oh god, those Titoas are pricey.
So what would you rate it?
I'll do a half. I'll do like 5 out of 10.
Ooh. Alright. Alright, on to the final one of Megalonica. We are talking about the Aquaforce Stride, something that I really enjoy. So we're talking about Blue Storms. What?
No, keep going. Sorry. Keep going.
Blue Storm Steel Dragon, Jumbo Dragon.
And then here's my fun, my thing I was gonna say. I thought it was Aquaforce.
Aquaforce. Aquaforce.
Yep.
It's like when it's like that. It was Family Guy. Yeah, I think it was either Family Guy or American Dad that was making fun of it was making fun of how white people pronounce things.
What?
I thought it was like they're making fun of people from Boston.
No. I don't think it was specifically Boston. No, it was an older episode where it was this lady and she's like, tacos? I got some JC Fresh tacos. I love tacos. With the corn tortilla or tortilla.
Tortilla.
Okay, I know exactly what you were talking about now.
So this Aquaforce Stride. I think they pronounced it like that in the show at one point or the other too.
Aquaforce. It was G. It was in G.
Really, I gotta go back to that because that sounds.
It was in G with Jaime, I think, in English, by the way, not Japanese. It was a little bit of
not the English part, but Jaime.
So when it attacks, toss counterblast 1, turn card from your G zone face up. For every 2 of your rest rear guards, draw a card. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you drew 3 cards or more, stand 2 of your rear guards. So I've been in this mind.
First effect.
Oh, I did. Oh, well then I'll yeah, okay. So I'll go back and read that one too. So I read the second effect first. Now, the first effect. Auto, when placed, load the top 7 cards of your deck, call up to 2 cards from among them to rearguard as rest, shuffle your deck. Excuse me while I fill out another copyright infringement form. So we're talking about Aqua Paladins at the moment. Aqua Paladins. Every clan at this point is a gold paladin or some sort of paladin clan. Just the sooner we accept it, the sooner things get better or worse. So I really enjoy this card because I've been in the mindset because I've been an Aquaforce player since. Okay, I've been a real Aquaforce player since Thavos, and near the end of G, you had Alexandros, which was just the best of the best. It was amazing. You just do stuff with it. You get to resend. You get your multiple attacks. And then I got 24th place at Chara Expo with, or was it 24th? No, it was like a 30 something.
That was like 30.
I think I remember
that. 5th or 39th or something.
Yeah, probably something like that. I don't know. With Aquaforce, just Alexandros.deck. Yeah, it wasn't Maelstrom. It was Naval Gazer, but it was Alexandros the deck, and it was great. But this card is it's a good first strike because we get to call something from deck at rest, which works really well with the Revan support. So this is standard plus. Drink your water. as well as just getting you draw, because that's something that Aquaforce lacks, despite cards that go into Soul to draw you cards, like Narissa and Coral Assault, and last year's Critical Trigger, and maybe a few other cards, but still, because we have to devote so many units to attack, it's very difficult to keep our hand at a healthy size. So this card is such a welcome addition to Aqua Paladin. Like, I like the card. And, I mean, you can even flip up the G-Guard, the Blue Wave G-Guard, to use next turn to countercharge something or unlock. Hey. That's still pretty handy, too. So, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
So I used to play Aquaforce Premium. I still have my stuff for it. They're just somewhere. This card is pretty good. I like the fact that when it's placed, you get to look at top 7, call 2 as rest, so it kind of facilitates more, deck thinning for pieces. It makes Gallius pretty good as well. I feel like with this deck, even if you went standard plus where you play the Revan build with this and then you just throw some premium stuff in it, it actually will work because you're getting free rear guards technically. The one other thing is that you're getting hand, which is important because Aquaforce just has no hand whatsoever. It also makes it where you have to swing with rear guards, so it's a pseudo Lambros. So having a pseudo Lambros or Alexandros, without the power boost, of course, is actually pretty powerful. So it helps you set board and kind of just pushes for multi-swing if you can. If you combo this and you restand 2 rear guards and then you trigger, say, like Gallius's effect and stuff like that, you get way more attacks going off. So, yeah. I feel like overall it's like an 8 out of 10 for me.
Alright.
I will admit I do like this card too. And as far as me playing Aquaforce, I've been like on and off it, but I guess like the main reason I would play Aquaforce is my most favorite character from the original series was Leon. So I always stayed with, I usually just build around Maelstrom whenever I play Aquaforce. Even though I do like some of the other ones, but I like Maelstrom the most. Because like Maelstrom's an OG like that. It's weird because this seems like one of the very few this seems like one of the very few strides in the game. Well, not in the game, but in this particular set that looks like you can plus heavily hard off of Zazen without like the typical Zazen strategy when you really think about it. It's like you don't have to have like rear guards to like force rest or anything else like that, and you don't have to necessarily attack with them. They'll just become aggressive generally. That's actually pretty good. I would do that. And of course, like Professor Chaos here said, the Reverend is pretty damn good. You can do like a lot of plays with it. I want to say, I want to see how this goes with Rebels, actually. That's the one I'm the most curious about.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm trying to see if I like this stride better than the one from Premium Collection 2019, or do I like that one better than this one?
Wasn't that the Valios stride?
Yeah, it was the
Yeah, the
Valios for that.
Valios one, yeah.
I think, yeah, I made the joke too, so I can't say anything. I feel like Valios overall is better, just because he does the static 11k, and that actually hurts a lot of decks because most people are like, oh, I'm 12k base, oh, I'm 13k base. No, you go to 11k base.
True.
You're back to G numbers.
Yeah, you're going to G numbers, and you're not going any higher or any lower. And it's funny because then what that means is cards like Gallius and Voivos, they will trigger their effect because their power is different, and they can't get any higher or lower, so you're always going to hit under Valios. So I think overall, compared to the two, this is a good first initial play, and then Valios after that. Because you do need 2 or more face up when you use Valios. So you set board with this, and then you just Valios your opponent for 11k every time. So,
that's
yeah.
true. I also kind of feel like this is a low-key mid to late game card, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does say for, every, 2 rested rear guards, which means they wanting you to have multiple rear guard circles. And to be fair, Aquaforce doesn't really gain extra rear guard circles in one turn. So
No, yeah.
I want to say this possibly might set up what they might get in the next set, but that's just me.
You're gonna get Aquaforce with multiple Excel circles?
That will be pretty busted though, but I can see it happening.
Please no. I don't think they're gonna do that. I hope not, because as much as I like the fact that, hey, spamming circles is nice, Aquaforce doesn't really need that because they can get 6 rested in one turn anyway, in turn 1, or first stride. So, it's not that hard to pull off.
What I'm seeing so far, I'm guessing they're trying to give every XL clan the ability to get more than 1 circle per turn.
Yeah.
Except those, because we've learned our lesson.
They can still do it.
Yeah, they can still do it.
Well, we can, but
it just won't be as free.
Which is fine. Everything must have a cost.
Exactly. So
Wonder Maelstrom, just watch, it'll happen.
Oh god.
It's bad enough we had Glory where oh yeah, you can only guard with 1 card from hand. And if they get the force marker, if you don't get a damage trigger, you basically lost.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I feel like I'll overall give this maybe a 6.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Would you like to talk about our next card and how disappointed you are?
Oh god.
I'll take the last card. I'll take the last card.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're in my territory. This is Nation territory. Okay.
Zoo!
Zoo! Okay. Vanguard Circle, when it attacks, cause Counterblast 1, turn a card from your G zone face up. Your opponent chooses 3 face down cards in his or her G zone, turns them face up, and for each card with power turned face up, Three of your front row units get power 15k to the end of the turn. This is Pillaging Mutant Deity Depanor.
Pillaging.
Pillaging. Damn it. Okay. Where do I even begin? So,
The beginning.
shut up, you know what I mean.
Anytime anyone's gonna say that, I will always say that in response.
Winning God and his roommate Chugs for arm wrestling.
I don't think I can do this. Okay. My thing is, when they were making this set, and especially how they were coming out with a lot of cards into the game, we were expecting like, oh yeah, they're making standard plus, which means they're going to be making a lot of standard base units to be used for premium format. So when I was under the impression that we will get some mill mechanic, because that was the last thing Megacolony's gotten. But instead, we get this, which I do not know, and I still do not know what is the point of this card, besides the only good thing coming from it is the power boost. Because let's be real, I feel like if there's anything that Megacolony will be missing besides having more stuff dedicated to their, their natural abilities, is something that can hit hard, something that can hit heavy. And it's like, you have all of this stuff there, and there's no execution. Like, you have Antlion, which is pretty cool, but it's too guardable. It's like, okay, I have the ability to prevent my opponent from, guarding with guarding with like protect markers or any like sentinel unit. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. It only gains 1,000 plus a critical, so on its own it's like 20 plus crit, which will be cool if it gained more power without having me to resort to triggers. So then you have the whole Phantom Black thing that prevents people from guarding with normal units, so all they can guard is with trigger units, aka the units that has the most particular shield, which in that case I am wasting 3 cards in my hand and a grade 3 from the soul, which I'm losing 4 cards in total for an attack that has a 15% chance rate of actually hitting the opponent and ending the game completely. And the only way I can make sure that it's a lot more of a possibility is the fact that if I was to use the Zoa combo, which is also bad because, let's be real, what other clan in this day and age is using a Zero Dragon as a finisher?
Paladins.
Weird, interesting
Gold Paladins.
Gold Paladin for no. Animal Paladins are using it.
Yeah.
With Rhino and Tiger. Animal Paladin.
Dragon Empire technically can do it. It's just we don't do
that
it.
Is the Dragon Empire.
They don't normally do it. They don't normally.
They have the possibility to do it, but they don't normally do it because they don't have to do it. Like, Kagro has like maybe a couple of strides in their arsenal that can actually, kill off the game.
They just
they got Doomjit. That's good enough. And if you're playing Overlord, you got the Purge.
Yeah.
So they have something like that. Now Rakami got their new stride, of course. I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but
Stunburst.
They have that can work with, and if that doesn't work, then all of their other strides are basically finishers. You have Tachikaze, which technically don't really even have to go into a stride in order to win, but if they do, they just have, Gluttony. They have the second Gluttony, and they have their new stride as well. You have Murakumo with New Dragon that can kind of sort of kill the game off with that. There's endless amount of strides you can do with Nubatama. You got Agato Lord, you got Rene if you're not running Gem Kago in your deck. You also got the new stride that can also do something as well. And all of that, they can use the Zero Dragons anytime they want to, just to be a deck. They don't have to depend on it. But with Megacolony, on the other hand, it just seems like Zoa is too much of a dependent of a final stride. And it's stupid because the only deck that I feel like that Megacolony doesn't necessarily have to depend on Zoa like that. Well, in a technical term, they don't have to depend on Zoa is dumbass Gizeh Gridora, which I still to this day will refuse to use.
I mean, you do use Zoa.
I'm talking about the Giz. I'm talking about Gizeh.
I know. But you technically use Zoa for the flip fodder, and then
You don't have to.
But I mean, but what kill strides do they have? Because the Gridora stride is, let's be real, amazing, but it's not a kill stride.
It's a really hard stall stride. Yeah, and I mean, that's just how it is with that deck, because it's not. Yeah, I think it's more just the line of, oh, it's a hard bait and switch tactic with that deck with bugs. It's very tough. So yeah.
But I'm looking.
See your point.
It's like they have a lot of stuff to work with, but they don't have no end game, and that's the thing that's pissing me off. It's like, dude, give us an end game. It's all like when they were coming out with the mill mechanic with Gun and Kaleo and all that, I was expecting an actual mill deck, not, oh yeah, I get to mill like maybe 2 or 3 cards a turn. No, I was expecting like heavy mill, like Morphin Jar 1 type mill.
Oh, I was thinking needleworm.
I mean needleworm. Yeah, my bad. Not Morphin Jar. Needleworm. I was expecting something like needleworm. Not Ghost Trick Skeleton.
I love that. Well, I mean, hey, at least, with the milling, you could kill off Grand Blue faster.
Grand Blue, Great Nature, and like technically Lord is like the only 3 that can actually justify the milling somewhat. Outside of that, it kind of feels like all the other milling is unjustified and pointless.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, if you mill your opponent's triggers, you kind of screw them over.
Yeah, which is true though, but
yeah, but there's just a lot of decks that can just survive even if you mill their decks of certain triggers.
And it just feels like that the clan is just way too RNG. It's like, okay, if you're gonna have something that's RNG like that, I expected it like, I want the RNG to be like Hero from Dragon Quest and Smash Brothers, not Mr. Game & Watch Hammer Time.
True. So, what's your rating?
I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give it a 4. It could fill in a niche later. I'm not sure how it would fill a niche, but this is kind of one of those cards that if you know your opponent doesn't have a Zeroth Dragon, like, this is for fun. This card's cool. But most people will play a Zeroth Dragon, and this card just gives access to it. It could be better. It should have milled. It should have stunned. It should have done something. It could have been a finisher. But it's this, And maybe with Dark Phase coming out soon, I don't know. Maybe it'll have something that involves face-up cards anywhere. So maybe this is a lead into that. I don't know. Again, I'm just gonna give it a 4 because it could do something, but right now it's just no, fam.
So when I mean, this was one of the last last two cards that was revealed, and when I looked at the effect, I actually had the same thought process on the fact it's like, why? It doesn't really, scream, threatful. But then, I guess it's not too bad. I mean, it forces your opponent to either force them to, turbo their generation break, or you force them to use up their G Guardians without actually using the G Guardians. That's probably the one main thing about it. The intention was probably for your opponent to be like, oh, so because I don't want you to gain the 15k for 3 units, I'll flip over 3 G guards. So then that means, oh, I just lost my G guards, so I have to just guard with 20k shields with heal triggers. But from how most people will play against it, they'll just be like, oh, thanks for the free G, thanks for the increase in G break. Let me just either Zeroth Dragon you or just end you next turn, because you just gave me the necessary, cards, or effect to do it. I actually will agree and think it's like about a 4 out of 10. Like, it's not great, it's okay, but doesn't really provide the deck with anything. Most people will still go for Ghidorah Stride anyways. So.
All right, on to the next one. We'll try to pick the pace because we were on that one for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
So we're on to Great Nature, Omniscience Dragon.
Chipito Kamu. Chipito Kamu. It's literally.
I see, like where it says photonic. Okay.
Look at the phonetic. Yeah, look at the phonetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the T is silent, and Chipito Kam or something, or Kamu. It doesn't matter what, but
I'm just gonna call him T-Cam.
Chip. A toucan. A toucan.
T-Cam. Like
a T-Cam. Oh, okay.
So T-Cam, what he does is auto and Vanguard. When your card is in your rearguard or deck, when your card is put on your rearguard circle or from deck to drop zone, you may put that card to the bottom of the deck. Auto on Vanguard circle, when your rearguard attacks, call Soul Boss 1, turn a card in your G zone face up. That unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of the battle for each face-up card in your G-Zone. Until the end of that battle, retire that unit. So, I don't know much about Great Nature. But I know it's got its own milling mechanic, or lottery, as Japan likes to say. Or gotcha. The gotcha mechanic. So, being able to put something back to the bottom of the deck instead of it staying in the drop zone is really handy. There seems to be an infinite combo with it with the original Barcode Zebra, but that's a really stretched out combo to where it may not necessarily pay off the way you would want it to. I just think that, oh hey, this is a really cool late game card for success decks to hit those successful numbers. But who plays success? Exactly. The one person in the corner over there, you in the basement. Yeah.
The one with the belly. The one with the big belly.
We don't judge people's weight, Mr. Doctor Professor.
Hey. I'm not judging people by their weight when the card's name is Big Belly.
I don't know much, but I think this could be viable later in the future, so I'm kind of future-proofing. I'm going to give it a 3 for right now, but maybe in a year's time, this card can jump up to a 7, depending on what other support Great Nature gets between now and then.
Hmm. So, with Great Nature, I mean, I know about the loop you were talking about, and it requires you to loop at least 2 to 3 of the same zebras over and over and over and over, and it really is just not, not doable. It's not good. It's not really that good. Um, but I will say the second effect, it kind of reminds me of Chatner, because Chatner did the when a rear attacks plus 4K and then it dies at the end of the turn. But this one is it dies at the end of that battle. So at the very least, your cards that die, you can literally commit triggers and have it gain power, and then just cycle them back to the deck and be like, oh hey, look, I have triggers now, and then I can drive check or something like that. There's multiple ways to kind of use this, but yeah, I do agree it's more late game if anything, because most first strides literally go for baller roll first, or one of the other ones that benefit the deck more. So I personally think I want to say it's like about a 6 out of 10, personally, just because it's pretty good. But because it's late game card, it's eh. So
Okay.
yeah, it does remind me of Chetner, definitely.
Alright, so this card is weird to me as a Great Nature player, cause I'm kind of like happy and like salty at the same time about it, cause I was like, yo, Great Nature needs like some type of Dreaming Dragon, because it mills itself pretty fast, especially like premium version, because you're not only milling but you're also drawing a lot. And I was like, okay, like the first part, it does kind of start doing like a little bit of recovery, so that's something I like about. The problem that I was finding was the cost, or you soul blast one, to do whatever. And my thing is, for one, it does help pretty much with the GB8, and it does also help with bar rules. So you could kind of technically use that as fodder for bar rule and all that. But at the same time, it's like there's not a lot of commitment when it comes to soul charging in Great Nature, unless if there is, and I'm not like looking too far into it. But I don't really see too much like it's not like um what would it be? It's not like Darky Regulars type charging, or anything else, like, or even Pale Moon type soul charging, or anything else like that. It's like average soul charging, and it kind of sort of has that ability similar to Winning Champ Victor. It's almost like another carbon copy of that in a way, but like in its own terms. So, and with that particular thing, you had like resources, to go through with like Winning Champ Victor, and I was expecting the same thing with Great Nature. Another thing is there was like a winning strategy that I kind of sort of had in my current Great Nature deck, which is the reason why I'm revamping it, sometime tomorrow or something like that, that revolved around Culture Gorilla. That once my Vanguard attacked, I Soul Blast 5 and resent all of my units with 25k or higher. So that intertwines with that. So now I can't necessarily have both cards into the deck. I have to have either that card, or have this stride into one particular deck. Unless if there's some way for me to soul charge a lot of stuff. On top of that, you do have like a lot of cards with the gotcha mechanic that came from Mysterious Fortune that requires a Soul Blast in order to, do your abilities. Like you got Isabel, you got the Toucan, you got the Hamsuke, grade 2 that came out, the Hamsuke rival that came out and whatnot. Those all require a Soul Blast cost. So it feels like it works against the clan more than it helps it. But honestly, I do kind of feel like that there might be something that I'm missing into that in general. So overall, as much as I do like the whole, like you mentioned, um, it was similar to Chatnor, which hopefully I'm hoping that we get Chatnor back in the standard. That's pretty much one of the things I like about it the most. So I'll definitely give it like maybe a 6.5 out of 10.
Right.
All right, we are now on the final card.
It's
I'm
the
getting really tired, so
final
let's
countdown.
let's bring it home.
I heard that.
Yeah, I was hoping to see who would catch it. So all I said was it's the final countdown. Okay, so the final card is a new nectar. The name is Entrancing Flower Princess Sandraine, and her effect is this: Act G-Zone. If this card is face down and you and your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, retire 2 token units, strike this card on the vanguard circle, and this unit gets plus 10k and plus 1 crit until end of the turn. The thing with this one is that, number one, if you're playing Neo Nectar and say you don't have the cost for stride, she's pretty good because she. Oh, and then the other thing is, I also noticed this card also doesn't have a G flip as well. That's the one other thing. But then again, it is a pretty good stride for what it does, so of course there's no G flip. So yeah, the one thing is, you don't have to pay the cost for stride because counterblasting 1 and retiring 2 token units, you get her on the board. Now the thing is, this card kind of benefits more towards the Asha deck that's upcoming in the new trial decks and the quote unquote what we call the Tri 3 set, or how everyone says it is the next stage set. For all you G era people, when we say Tri 3, y'all should know what we mean. For everyone else who came in during V era, if you don't know what Tri 3 is, go watch G era. We'll know what we mean when we say that when you watch the G era, and it's being aired in Japanese, so or just go back and watch it in English. So the thing with this card I like is the fact that, one, it's a free stride, or not free stride, but it's an alternative cost stride, and two, it works really well with the new Asha because you can trigger the Asha effects, get the fairy token, and then stride into this card, and your fairy token gets equivalent power to your vanguard and the crit. So if you're under, say, Force 2 and you threw it on vanguard, your vanguard is going to be swinging for 38k 3 crit, not counting triggers, and then your fairy token is going to also swing for 38k 3 crit, for what it does. So overall, it's good. Yeah, we lost Katrina. Whoop-de-doo. I don't care. I'm fine with Katrina gone. But this does help out with the Asha deck a little bit. It just means that the new, the plant decks are going to be slower. But it doesn't mean that there's no, there isn't any alternative or variety in the deck. It also means, hey, old strides like the original Dream Spinning Asha is pretty good, and the other Asha stride is pretty good, and whatnot. So just comes down to what you play. And in terms of rating this card, for what it does, I will say it's like about a 7.5 out of 10, just because it is very strong. But the fact that the deck itself relies on Counterblast, and it doesn't really have a hand worth for crap, it kind of lacks in terms of advantage. It does combo well with the fairy token, but that's it. That's all it is that it combos well with that. Otherwise, it's not bad. It's not a bad card. It's pretty good.
I like this card. It's another Spear X, which I guess Neonectar needed since Katrina got, weed whacked.
Damn it.
But this card it fills an interesting void. This helps any decks that have on-play skills go off. So, like, you can play Maiden of Training Rose, get your Forest Marker, get your plant tokens, then play this, and just do more things, make it more Vanguard-centric. You also have Exploding Tomatoes to use as well for your draw engine, I guess. But as you said, this is meant for Asha, and I think that's a smart idea. Neonectar's fun. I have a budget one at here somewhere. It's alright. Sandrine's pretty cool. It adds another element to the deck that, it doesn't need it, but it's good to have. It's a good first try. It fills the niche. Just being able to get that +1 crit and 10k is really handy, especially for playing Force 2. But again, this is more with Asha, so you're probably just going to play Force 1. I will give this a 9 because this could be... It may slow the deck down in terms of speed, but power-wise, I think this is going to be really good in the future.
Alright, so, I already did my parody video on my condolences to Katrina leaving. Even though now that we have, Zazen, I kind of feel like it was not really completely pointless, but unjustified. But that's for another video. I do like this card a lot. I kind of feel like that this is a little bit more dangerous than Katrina was. Like, don't get me wrong, Katrina was actually pretty dangerous with the card itself. I mean, you have like a whole format of people, including like Neonectar players themselves, complaining about the card. So, of course, it had to be some type of, it had to be in some type of danger, if you have even the players who were playing the card complain about it. But with this particular one, I do like it. I do like how you're not only bringing Asha to the table, but you're also bringing Arboros to the table. So now you can use the 10k tokens freely instead of hoping that you can get the grade 3 faster with your Arboros build, so that you can have like 10k tokens to work with. I also do like that this is one of the strides that also doesn't stride during stride phase either, so that's another thing that I like about it. The counterblast isn't really too much of an issue. I do remember when they were coming out with the stuff in Mysterious Fortune, the deck was so non-count. You had so much counterblast in that particular deck that I think there was only one card in that whole deck that can counterblast, and everything else just gives you value. But yeah, this definitely works with Asha and Arboros. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work with Musketeers, which more likely it can. It can definitely work with Musketeers, especially with like Bay Cecilia. So I mean, honestly, I'm kind of glad that it was pretty good and they didn't just give Neonectar like a bad stride and then took out Katrina. So that's a good thing. So overall, I would definitely give this like I'll definitely give this like a 8.5 out of 10. I'll definitely do that.
Ooh, and with that, we are finished with all the strides from each nation. Woo!
Yes, we are. Oh my
Tune in
god.
next time when we talk about trail elementals and why Zazan needs to be banned.
Even though there's still some people that's like, oh, you should just
Go
errata
with
him.
it and play it.
No, no. Yeah, you have like a select few people who says go around and play with it, but you do have a few people here and there that says just errata. I mean, just errata it.
I mean, to make it, to give the opportunity for it to be played and not, just get an immediate ban. Errata sounds possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I mean, but they have to see. I guess it's a matter of they have to see, what to do at this point.
But in the meantime, we all can play test it, see what we think about it, and then convene back here next time and figure out what we need to do. Because next time we're going to talk about Cray Elementals and the Order. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
So, with all that being said, Ezra Senpai, where can we find you?
You can
Oh
find
no.
me in Animal Crossing. You can find me
You're not wrong.
on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as Ezra Senpai. Follow me on Patreon because Patreon, nice. Yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Professor Chaos, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Facebook under Starvader Chaos Breaker Dragon. I have posts here and there, mostly whenever we get Link Joker, stuff, or updates and whatnots. Please look forward to upcoming information because I will put up more on what I'm planning to do this week because I want to change things up because while Vanguard is a big thing, gotta change it up, see something new and all this whatnot. So pay attention to the page. You can find us also on YouTube, Vanguards at the Roundtable. I haven't uploaded anything for like a few months, but hey, there are old videos, and I will upload a few videos sometime next week when I get more stuff to upload. So be on the lookout for that.
Alright, and then you can definitely find me on this channel at Mr. Z Nation. You can find me on Facebook at Savage Armor June Giraffe, which I promise I will be uploading more, posting more so. I need to post more often, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. And then you can also find me on my gaming channel, twitch.com/alicornlion. I do be playing a bunch of different stuff. I am going to try out, okay, but at the time of the recording of this video, I am going to be trying out Vanguard Zero and possibly doing like a review on it. I don't know, but I am going to.
He'd be playing that Megacolony that's not there yet.
Oh my god! Don't even remind me of that.
For the record, it's 1:01 in the morning, May 31st, 2020.
Exactly.
Pacific Standard Time.
So yeah, but outside of that, I'm playing also Persona 3 and all that other stuff. So yeah, you can find me in all those places. You can find Ezo at his places and Professor Chaos at his places. So, with that all being said, my name's Mrs. Z Nation, aka Savage Armor June Giraffe. This has been Megacolony Trap House Podcast.
Peace.
Oh dang! Ooh.
Yes, I know. I was trying to make it sound ghetto, but no.
Ooh.